I need like a joke, but then I don't know. I don't know where I would go from there. So let's just get into it. Welcome to the Game News Show. The weekly game news program that I put on stream and then post to YouTube the next morning. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for hanging out. Leave a like and a comment what you think of the Game News Show or your favorite story that I'm about to cover. If you're watching on Twitch live, thanks for hanging out. We'll get to some gaming right after I cover the news. So let's hop into it. First up this week, we've got PlayStation 5 is in the news. This is kind of a big story, so I'm going to go ahead and get it, kind of rip the Band-Aid. Let's get it out of the way. Sony decided to increase the price of the PlayStation 5 by 50, not US dollars. So by 50 amount wherever that isn't the US, the PS5 is now more expensive. But I don't think that's the full story, because at the same time, they released a revision model that is a little bit lighter, and that's like the only difference, which leads me to believe that they're increasing the cost because of materials and probably shipping costs, but the weight reduction would also lead to materials cost reduction and shipping cost reduction, or they're gonna just ship more PlayStations at the rate they would ship less PlayStations that were heavier. All that really does play a big part, so I could see either one happening. People are like, but what about the US? There's not a price increase. They're okay. They've already figured that out. So because we Americans will react badly to just a flat price increase, instead, what you're probably going to see, and what I've been seeing more in the online shops anyway, it looks like the Horizon Forbidden West bundle, whether you get the all digital or the disc version of the PS5, is going to be like the only way to get it, which, surprise, surprise, is $50 more than the base model. So by including some software, it's a better deal than anywhere else, but it's still a price increase. And so we've seen this happen before. I mean, generally when a game is bundled in, it's to help offset some increased costs somewhere. And so, you know, like pack-in games are great. They are a nice enticement to buy a piece of hardware. But if that's the only way you can buy a PlayStation, you're also paying $50 more than you did before or would have before. So yeah, that's kind of where that lies. Also, weird press move, like everybody was asking Microsoft and Nintendo if they were increasing the price, and neither of them are increasing their prices at all. If Nintendo did, it would be through a hardware revision, kind of like we got with the OLED Switch. It's $50 more than the base Switch, and so if that's the only one available, obviously the Switch is increased in price. You are getting more features, they're still paying more. And so that's just something to keep an eye on. Microsoft, on the other hand, I mean, if you're looking to get in on the current generation of consoles for not as much money, the Series S is the way to go. I mean, you get a great machine. That's what I stream off of when we're playing Xbox games, or generally any third-party games or multi-platform games. I'm playing them on an Xbox. And so the performance of the Series S is really impressive for the money. And I like mine. Like, I have zero complaints about mine. Well, I take that back. The storage space is probably the biggest issue, but that's remedied for a cost. So, you know, everything's got a cost associated with it. All that to say, weird move, Sony, to increase your price and do a bunch of other stuff that would suggest you didn't need to, per se, or you're doing some very sneaky stuff either way. Let's see. Also, continuing to talk about Sony, we have Discord being fully integrated into PlayStation voice chat. Not too many details on how this is going to work, but it's supposedly coming in the next couple of months or the next month or so. What I'm interested to see here is if it's the same path that you got to take with the Xbox to link your Xbox party chat with Discord, where you have to do some stuff on an app. That's fine. That's a solution, and it's an easier way to have like cross-platform chat going. Most people probably are already using Discord for that anyway. So I think it's a good move. It's cool to see it maybe more native on PlayStation. So it would be as simple as just using your Discord credentials, your Discord account, to jump into your, chat server or whatever. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. And going forward, I'm wondering if it'll get better on Xbox. And will Discord come to Switch at all? Probably not. You'll probably still be stuck using your phone until the Switch 2, Switch Pro, whatever it is, until that happens. Moving on into some... well, honestly, this isn't good news. This is weird news. If you're familiar with Denuvo, the DRM anti-piracy solution on a lot of PC games, that is, it's what Steam users end up breaking within a few weeks of a game's release anyway. Supposedly coming to the Switch through third-party initiatives. It's weird. I'm not thrilled by this because it only can hurt the end user playing legitimately on an actual Switch. But the reason I say that is because in all of their reasoning, they've said that, and this is from Denuvo's developers, I guess. Their press release says that the software won't hinder performance on Switch or require an online check-in, which are two of the biggest flaws with the Denuvo solution on PC games. Most of the time, you got to have some kind of online verification, and a lot of times disabling Denuvo, once it gets cracked, your game runs better. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this works on the Switch, which is already pretty limited in resources. A very odd move, but supposedly Nintendo's not involved with this at all. This is all third-party developers, probably publishers more than developers, reaching out to find a way to prevent, and this is Denuvo's words, unauthorized emulations of games that were just pirated. My stance is DRM, while the goal makes sense, doesn't end up hurting anyone but the end user in the long run. Because if a game gets pirated, it's not good, but it happens a lot. I think that needs to be locked down higher up in the dev chain, if that makes sense. It shouldn't come down to some third-party app to lock down a piece of software. It should be, not leaked 2 weeks early, as is seen with a lot of Switch games. They get leaked months, weeks early before their release date, and then people are just playing it on an emulator way beforehand. Denuvo's not really going to solve that. People are going to crack it that much sooner. I don't know. I just don't see this going well for Switch owners who play games legitimately, and for developers and publishers that kind of force this on dev teams. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to stay on this too long, but I'm not a fan. I think it's a bad move. I think performance issues are going to ruin a game experience for a lot of people where this is forced on them. Moving on to some better news. Pokemon Unite. Okay, so this Friday, the big update comes out that gives us the new map and new characters. We got Mew coming out first. I can't really see that. Let's change that here. So we got Mew on September 2nd. We've got Dodrio on September 14th. And we've got Caesar on September 28th. And it's super cool. So basically, all September, we're getting some new characters in Unite, along with the new map. And I'm really thrilled for this because the new map looks cool. The gameplay I've seen of the new characters looks cool. And I'm looking forward to it. So we've also got some news on GPUs. If you've been looking to upgrade, if you're a PC gamer, streamer, if you fool with PC components, the struggle over the last 2.5 years. Buying a GPU has been near impossible unless you're willing to pay scalper prices. That looks to finally be the past as GPU prices seem to be coming down. A lot of factors are coming into play here, but what it amounts to is there's a lot of extra inventory in stores, and NVIDIA and AMD are about to release new cards, and they don't need stores selling older stuff when they could be selling the newer stuff. So what we're seeing is graphics card prices come down, sometimes below MSRP in some cases. So if you're looking to buy a new graphics card, now's the time to be shopping around. I'd say in the next few weeks, maybe next couple of months, you'll see current gen cards going for a really nice price. And for me personally, I would like an upgrade. So I'll be keeping my eye on these prices. I'm hoping to grab a decent upgrade. But yeah, very cool time to have waited it out if you've been holding out for a GPU upgrade like I have. And then last thing I'm going to cover tonight. It's kind of a quick night. Short video, but okay. We've got Games with Gold was announced, I think, earlier today. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it was yesterday. If you're watching this far in the future on YouTube, just look whenever the day this is published. And if you don't care, just now, Games with Gold was revealed. Decent month. We've got Gods Will Fall, Double Kick Heroes, and really, I'm more excited for the retro games this time. But we've got the original Xbox Thrillville, which was Roller Coaster Tycoon, but console friendly. And then we got Portal 2, which a lot of people are like, well, if you don't already have Portal 2, maybe, like, if you're like one of the few people. But no, like, that's a good game to get for free. It's a fantastic, it was probably one of my favorite games on the 360 because it was so good. Like, the story was good, gameplay was great. And so maybe you've got some, Xbox One or Series X gamers who didn't have a 360. Now they get Portal 2 for free, and it's a fantastic game, to jump into. So, pretty good month. One of the better months that Games with Gold has had in a long time. I still think, I think it was earlier this year, I talked about this program and what they should do to fix it. I still stand by that completely. I think Games with Gold needs some kind of revamp. And I think this month or next month, maybe I could be completely wrong, but I remember them talking about the original Xbox and 360 games no longer being a part of Games with Gold. And so maybe once those go away, they'll be introducing some better overall games. But I don't really know. I could see them maybe doing like 3 better games than 4 okay games or just really old games. But yeah, Portal 2 is definitely worth checking out. I don't know anything about Double Kick Heroes or Gods Will Fall. I may check them out. I don't know. I gotta really look at what those games are before I just dive into them. Because again, I've never heard of them. I have no clue what I'm looking at. But yeah, so that does it for this week's game news show. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll switch over to some Pokemon in a moment over on Twitch if you're watching live, so just bear with me. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for checking it out. Leave a like, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subs on YouTube, and I think last I checked we were 3 or 4 away. So just gas me there. Let's pump it over the triple digits mark, and it'll be awesome. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. I don't know where to go from here, so I'm just gonna end it. And if you're on Twitch, let's play some games. See ya. It's the end of the level. I felt it happening. I was like, it slowed down a lot, and there's less enemies. Oh my gosh.